Yeah, so first, our primary main target goal are the youth people, and for that we built and established this Center for Education, actually for non-formal education, to give them alternative way of, I would say, teaching themselves in different topics, also like environment protection, human rights, and something what they cannot get in a schooling system, up to it, also we with this socialization or social affairs, we wanted to provide the joint place where they can come together and bring all of their ideas, all of their thoughts, and where we then jointly can act together. And this is how actually we also joined the LOGEX group in a way to extend our initiatives that we do locally and nationally in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It's a quite big interest, so we work with the local schools, with universities, so we are working with about 60 young people in age from 16 up to 30. We also have some programs for the children, but mainly with those young people, because if you want to change the world here, you have to work with young people. This is a long-term investment. This is how we act. I would say in Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's totally unfamiliar topic, and this was one of the reasons why we joined this network group of LOGEX, and also joined today or these days in Skopje conference in the meeting. We are overwhelmed with other political issues in the country, especially with reconciliation after the war, and also, of course, about the political, I would say, perspective of the country, where we don't have a consensus. We want to join the European Union, stay neutral, and so on, so that actually environment protection and business, and I would say the economy is unfortunately secondary phase of our political structures, and this is where we jumped in as an organization, that we want to appoint it as priority, because if you make a sustainable economy who is working and operating in a responsible relationship to the resources that we have, then you can motivate young people to stay, to work, and to plan their future in that country. In this sense, I would say we are touching more subjects that maybe our political structure are not aware it's priority. Yeah. I would say our experience is first, our government signed the agreement, so-called Green Agenda for Western Balkan countries, without any, I would say, truly acceptance of what are they all obliged to do. And our role, we see ourselves, is to bring up to the higher level, to make, I would say, positive pressure, so that they really commit themselves to implementation of the obligations they made in this sense. And this is, I would say, pollution as a segment that we all witness also in Bosnia, especially in Sarajevo as a capital, is a topic which everybody sees, but the political structures think it's not the priority. And they signed that it should be a priority. And we are making campaigns, and also joining this network. We want to make it on a higher level campaign to be aware it's a priority that they also signed the agreement for, and that we get support by also international networks in I would say, dealing with these issues like pollution of the air, environment protection, also I would say increasing circular economy concept, and that is what we see as our role, to remind and also to offer our expertise and our knowledge, what we do, to our institutions. Unfortunately, I would say I'm very concerned with at the moment situation with the results of the elections. And first of all, not to be panicking. I think at the moment nothing will change. So I would say, because most of the political parliament seats stayed unchanged in a way of the parties who were before the elections, they also now continue to be in the same number, in the percentage in the parliament. So from that point, we don't see that there will be big, I would say, improvement, especially in these topics. They are dealing with this other, unfortunately, overwhelmed political dominance in a way where Bosnia and Herzegovina should stand in the terms of the aggression to Ukraine. And as you mentioned now in the question, we have the not consensus in the country, in the political structures where Bosnia should stand. And in this way, we are giving, I would say, negative image to the all European, I would say, standings, and for us as NGO inside of that country, it's not surprising, but we are then trying to work with existing situation as it is, and to appoint these other, I would say, other issues which are now for us very important. That's how to keep the young people with development of economy in both entities, in the Republic of Srpska Federation side, so that the people, the citizens, stay there, and that we can, through these citizens, influence in the future, changing those kind of the political minds and structures. And I would even say drastically the parties, because at the moment I don't see that the political parties and the structure is serving the people that live there. They actually have the opinion that the people are there to serve them. And in this sense, with me as NGO member, I'm trying to change that in the people as itself, and that's why we work with young people to get them more politically educated. What are their rights, and what are their perspectives if they want to change something in the future? I think most of the people that I witnessed in every corner of the country by all ethnic groups which actually were taking part in our conflict and our war that we witnessed and lived in Bosnia are recognizing themselves with what trauma, what is happening in Ukraine, in all sides, if you call it like this. So because it reminds them of the very negative images they have from the war in Bosnia and the Balkans in the 90s, and from that they feel really empathy with those people who are actually suffering at the moment. Personally, I think those individual people would gladly help that the violence stops. And this concept, I would say, this encouraged me when I speak with the people. Totally different, unfortunately, level is by political structures in the country, which are actually giving, I would say, totally artificial picture of that we are supporting one or the other side. This is for me very I would say not representing what the people are really thinking about it, and obviously they don't do anything in a way to help those people, whether it's Ukrainians or Russians who are actually now involved in this conflict. It's just, I would say, populism talk and winning some political points in the local here in the Southeast Europe and Balkan, but not in any, I would say, significant importance to the European level. Maybe it's luck that we don't play any big role as a country in this conflict or in this situation, because the attitude of political structures, for me personally, very bad, because it doesn't show empathy to the trauma of the simple people which are really there witnessing there and living. This is my first time in Skopje. This is the last Yugoslav republic that I now visited. I'm really delighted and really happy to be here, and for these 3 days I'm very impressed, honestly said, with what I saw in Skopje. Of course, I imagined it in a way of still big development, infrastructure, but I see a lot of already big buildings, a lot of structures, and the new roads, and with the airport, and I was very positively surprised, if you can say it, as a guest spirit. It has some really nice city spirit, I would say. I was yesterday evening in the city and seeing really so much people, even it was Thursday evening. Reminds me of my hometown, and very, I would say, culturally very similar, and we like the life in the city life. And I felt as like at home. The monuments, honestly said, were firstly very surprising for me. I never saw that. I had to process it once again. Monumental, big, I would say, statues are for me new thing. From the other side, controversial, honestly, because I'm also a historian in a way to seeing who is presented there in which terms. And I think Skopje and Macedonia doesn't need that. So in a way of promoting really good and positive values that these people here in the country has. I really like I would say the mixture which I miss at my hometown. Skopje is really with this kind of the churches and the mosques and the people living together, and reminding me on Bosnia before the war, where every city and town in Bosnia was mixed. In a way, and nowadays, unfortunately, it's not like this anymore. So this is the spirit that I really take with me my home and tell my family and friends.